I'm standing at my grandpa's grave right now, and um, as I look around, I'm thinking about something I've honestly never thought about this deeply. Every single person buried here, look, every single person buried here was once alive, just like you, just like me. They woke up in the morning, they had places they needed to go, people they needed to call, bills they needed to pay, problems they were dealing with, right? People they loved, people they didn't like, things they were worried about, and they had dreams. And I can't help but wonder how many of them actually got to live those dreams. How many of them said, I'll do it someday? How many wanted to start that business, write that book, travel somewhere, tell somebody how they really felt, change careers, create something, take that risk, and just kept saying, not now, maybe later? How many started something and gave up? How many were too afraid to even try? And how many simply thought they had more time? Because eventually, for every person lying here, there was a last tomorrow. And I don't say this to scare you. Actually, I think it should do the opposite. It should wake you up, because one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that we have time. I'll do it later. I'll start next year when I have more money, when I'm more confident, when I'm ready, when things settle down, when I get married, when the kids get older, when I get that promotion, when I finally have enough subscribers, when I'm not too busy. And before you know it, years have passed. There's something strange about being young, about being alive. You know that life is temporary. Yes, you know. But although you know that life is temporary, you don't feel like it is temporary. You know people die. You know everybody eventually gets old. But somewhere in your mind, you feel like, I have plenty of time. And maybe you do. I hope you do. I hope you live to 80. I hope you get to see your children grow like grandpa did. I hope you get to see your grandchildren like he did. I hope you get to accomplish things you haven't even imagined yet. But here's the problem. None of us was promised that. None of us. And that's why I think we need to stop living as though tomorrow is guaranteed, because it is not. Not because we should become obsessed with death, but because understanding the value of time should make us better at living. So let me ask you something. What are you postponing? What is that thing you've been saying you're going to do? Maybe you've wanted to start a business. Maybe you've wanted to create content. Maybe you've wanted to go back to school. Maybe you've wanted to learn a skill. Maybe you wanted to write. Maybe you've wanted to travel. Maybe you've wanted to leave a situation that you know isn't good for you. Maybe you've wanted to tell somebody that you love them. Maybe you've wanted to apologize. Maybe you've wanted to forgive somebody. Maybe you've wanted to pursue something that you've been thinking about for years. And every time the thought comes, you say one day, but what if that one day never comes? Now, I want to be careful here. I'm not telling you to be reckless. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow. I'm not saying spend all your money. No. I'm not saying abandon your responsibilities and chase every crazy idea that comes to your head. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't use responsibility as an excuse to never live. You can be responsible and still pursue your dreams. You can take care of your family and still build something of your own. You can work your job and still start the business on the side. You can save money and still experience life. You can be afraid and still take that first step. You don't need to have your entire life figured out. You just need to stop postponing the beginning. One of the things that keeps us from pursuing our dreams is that we want certainty. You want to know, oh, will this work? Will people like it? Will it succeed? What if I fail? What if I waste my time? What if I start and nobody cares? And I understand that. I do. I've asked myself those questions too. But here is something I've realized. You don't get to know how the story ends before you start writing it. You don't know if the business will succeed. Start anyways. You don't know if the YouTube channel will grow. Post anyway. You don't know if the opportunity will work out. Apply anyway. You don't know if you fail, but try anyway, because failure is painful. But I think there is another kind of pain that can be even worse. The pain of wondering what could have happened if I had tried. And honestly, if I could sit down with the younger version of myself right now, I'll tell him something. I'll say, stop waiting to become somebody before you start living. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to be fearless. You don't need to wait until you are 100% ready. You don't need that, all of that. You're going to make mistakes, yes. You're going to embarrass yourself sometimes. Some people won't believe in you. Some people will laugh. Some things you try won't work, and that is okay. Live anyway. Speak. Create. Ask. Try. Love. Explore. Take the opportunity. Start the thing. And when you fail, learn. Get up. Try again, because one day you're going to look back and realize that the years you thought were far away were actually passing while you were waiting. And there's another thing I want to say. Don't spend your life trying to impress people, because when you really think about it, a lot of things we postpone are because we're afraid of what people will say. What will they think? What if they laugh at me? What if my friends don't understand? What if my family thinks I'm crazy? What if I fail publicly? And so we choose the safe option all the time. We choose the life that looks good from the outside. We follow the crowd. We suppress our ideas. We hide our creativity. We don't speak. We don't create. We don't try. And eventually, we become very good at looking like we are living, while secretly wondering what our lives could have been. Don't do that. You don't get a second life because you live the first one according to everyone else's expectations. You don't get a second chance. And maybe you are thinking, but I don't have some huge dream. That's okay. Your life doesn't have to look extraordinary on Instagram to be meaningful. It doesn't. Maybe your dream is to build a peaceful home. Maybe it is to become financially stable. Maybe it is to serve God faithfully. Maybe it is to create something that helps 10 people. Maybe it's to become the best version of yourself. Maybe it is simply to live a life that you are proud of. That's enough. Don't compare your dream to somebody else's. The question isn't, is my dream impressive? The question is there something that matters to me? If it does, give it a chance. So, sitting here today has made something very clear to me. These people aren't thinking about their follower counts anymore. All these people here, they are not thinking about their follower counts anymore. They are not. They are not worried about whether somebody thought they were successful. No, they are not worried about the car they didn't buy, the promotion they didn't get, the house they didn't build, the outfit they didn't wear, the opinion of the person who didn't like them. All that eventually become irrelevant. And I think that's something we forget while we are alive. We spend so much of our lives worrying about things that don't matter nearly as much as we think they do. We worry about being judged. We worry about looking foolish. We worry about failing. We worry about whether we are ahead or behind. We worry about what people will say. And meanwhile, time is just moving. Time is not waiting for anyone. So maybe you don't need a completely new life. Maybe you just need to stop postponing the life you already know you want. Take the course, make the phone call, send the email, start the channel, write that first page, apply for the job, have that conversation no matter how difficult it is. Ask for forgiveness, forgive somebody. Take your wife on a date, call your parents, spend time with your children, go somewhere you always wanted to go. Start that little business. Pray about it and then take the step, my friend. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. I came here today to visit Grandpa's graveyard because Saturday the entire family will be coming here. But sitting here and looking at all these graves, all of them, I think I've been reminded of something much bigger, that life is a gift and it's also incredibly fragile. So while we think we don't know how long we have, so while we are here, while we are breathing, while we still have the opportunity, let us live. Let's stop waiting for permission. Let's stop waiting until we are completely ready. Let's stop waiting until we are rich. Let's stop waiting until everybody understands. Let's stop waiting until we are no longer afraid, because maybe courage isn't the absence of fear. Maybe courage is saying, I'm afraid, but I'm going to try anyway. And if you're watching this right now, I want you to think about that one thing you've been postponing. You know what it is. You probably thought about it while I was talking. That thing. What would happen if you stopped saying one day and started saying, today I will take that step? I'll take the first step. You don't have to finish today. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't even have to know where the road leads. Just start, because you don't have much time, and I don't want you to spend the time you do have waiting for a life that may never come. Look, they are digging new ones for new people this weekend. So don't wait for a cemetery to teach you the value of time. You are still here. So go and live.